And before counselors, where are the rest of my colleagues? And before we get started, I want to welcome the Youth Advisory Committee. And I want to say that it's awesome to see all of these young people across the whole city school district. So that's just phenomenal. All righty.
So I just wanted to add a few words to that. The Youth Advisory Council was a program that started years ago with Jean Kessner, with Jean Kessner. She was the one to bring this program to City Hall. And when I took office 4 years ago, this program was hosting 8 to 10 students, and it is incredible to see today 45 students have applied and are in the room today. So thank you.
All righty. There will be a public hearing this evening at 5:30 to talk about the sanitation carts. Councilor Gathers.
Good afternoon, Madam President and fellow councilors. I have the item A. Somebody here speak on this?
What?
The local law of the city.
Okay.
It's ready for your consideration.
Okay. Call this item ready.
Thank you. All righty. I have item 10, and I am going to call that item ready. Councilor Caldwell.
Thank you, Madam President, and good day to everyone. And look at these beautiful young ladies and men in this room. I want to give you guys a round of applause again, because that's what we do here.
Bulldogs.
Let's go Cougars.
Awesome. Thank you again, Madam President. Julie, Commissioner LaFave.
And if any of these youth are looking for summer employment, they know who to find.
Yes, lifeguards. We need lifeguards. Who swims out there? Yes. 2 hands in the audience, Commissioner. Don't go nowhere. 3. Come on, sign them up. 4.
So wait a minute. Honestly, before you guys leave, if any of you guys are interested in really becoming a lifeguard that's in this room, do not leave. Come see Commissioner LaFave and myself. We want to make sure that you can be a part of our lifeguard program. Okay?
We need you.
All right? Yeah. And we're going to incentivize too some stuff, so let's go.
Also, cadet program for the police department. Anyone want to be a police officer? Okay, yeah. Sign her up. Deputy Chief.
All right, Julie.
Okay, good afternoon. Item number 11 is to appropriate funds. Every year we allocate dollars to the Syracuse Parks Conservancy as they are our nonprofit partner. This is coming for the annual request for $25,000. How they requested to spend it is in their letter in your agenda book. And if you do have any additional questions, Chris Wiles, president of the Parks Conservancy, is here.
I would like to make a statement if I could. I think the work that the Parks Conservancy does is incredible. Aren't they kind of like your guardian angel, Commissioner, where they are able to do things quicker than our government red tape allows? And they've recently, if I can say, they've hired a new staffer. I won't go into details, but this person stands to help raise money for the program, help raise money for our parks. And so having said that, I think if there's anywhere in the budget to try to double the 25,000 to give them 50, there's lots of things that they could be doing more, including First District Council just established a line in the Parks Conservancy budget for Do Good Park, which is the newly renovated Butternut Grant Boulevard Circle, which is now an intersection. So we're gonna light that Christmas tree every year. We're gonna try to get a park bench in there. We're gonna try to maintain the green space. So Councilor Hogan, are you up for that, doubling the funding?
Yes, thank you, Councilor Schultz. Anything you say goes with me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Item 12 and 13 are related to allocating capital funds. This is specifically for improvements at John Dunn Ice Rink, which is formerly the Meacham Ice Rink, as well as Onondaga Park Greenhouse improvements. Total cost $160,000.
You know, I just want to commend the Commissioner on your efforts here as far as the Meacham Ice Rink goes, and naming John Dunn. Absolutely, John was one of those unsung heroes as far as volunteer coaches and the efforts he made for youth in the Valley and the South Side. So I commend you on your efforts.
Thank you. Ribbon cutting at 2 p.m. on Saturday, if anybody would like to attend. We will be indoors due to the extreme
Yeah, I was
temperatures.
gonna ask you that. 'cause
We will
it's
be
cold.
inside the ice rink, so anybody is welcome to attend.
Okay.
We created an event page on the Facebook page with more details. Item number 14 is to extend the agreement we have with RecDesk. This is a first renewal option. This is the programming software we use for all online registration, all permits, tracking pretty much of everything happening in all of our parks and programs.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Counselor Hogan for Counselor Green.
Thank you, President Hudson. I have items 15 and 16. I believe they're both ready. 15 will probably executive session. We're looking for a lawyer. Monday. The lawyer's seat thing, and you know that.
No, but we got a couple of lawyers in here.
I've never seen Joe over there. You know. So, okay, so we'll have an executive session on that, Joe? Yes. Okay, thank you. So 15, 16 are ready, President Hudson.
Thank you. Counselor Majuk, on behalf of you and Counselor Green.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Item 18 is a police contract, and we would like to push this to next week for a committee meeting. So save your question for, we will have that meeting either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Councilor Majuk, I was just wondering, Corey, has everybody seen the contract? You had to go through with all the city councilors on that?
So we have we're meeting Monday. We need to brief Councilor Caldwell, Councilor Allen, Councilor Peniagua, and President Hudson.
Okay,
So there's still some work to be done.
okay, so we'll get them briefed and
We
then
will.
we'll have a meeting.
Right
Yes.
before that, because
Yes.
we need to see all of
Absolutely.
this.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
I see that contract is signed. It is the contract that the council would be voting on.
That's a tentative agreement.
Okay.
It was ratified by the union, correct?
Correct. Last night, yes. Thank you.
All set, Counselor? Counselor Hogan, all set?
Yes, I am all set. Well, it was Councilor Majak's. We're all set. We're all set together.
I'm
aren't we,
good.
Councilor?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
All righty.
Council, wait, I just want to ask a question. Now, you're not holding this, you're just saying that it's going to be a
Yes,
committee.
it's, so I could say it's ready, pending the
good.
committee meeting.
Because- Yeah, because the
Yes.
local law has to be
Yes,
tabled.
so
I don't
we
want
will
you-
let it through, yes.
I don't want you to
Yes,
hold it, 'cause then
yes.
we have to go
I'm
through
not
it.
holding it, yeah.
Yeah, if
Yes.
you would have held it, we had it, okay. We on the same page.
We're on the same page.
All righty, thank you. Counselor Gathers.
Thank you, Madam President. Of item number 19.
Afternoon, Councilors. So this is just payment to ADT. They report to City Hall Commons for a number of services, and I believe, I'd have to check the letter, but I think it was just that we had, there was an error in the payment that was made, so
That's
it's
it.
not any new service.
Because this was previously done, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, actually, tell what it was is that, that this particular item right here, this particular item, the invoice just came late. So
Right.
it wasn't like an error. You know,
Right.
it just-
Sorry, a
it just-
delay.
It
Yes.
just came late and, out of the fiscal year. And so so they put it in front of you all to pay it.
To make
Yes.
the payment.
Yeah, sorry, a delay in the invoice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Counselor Hogan, now you.
Okay, I have item 20 here, and I believe Mr. Ennis from the Community Development.
All right, good afternoon, councilors. Eric Ennis, Neighborhood and Business Development. So the proposal before you is to allocate and authorize $1 million in American Rescue Plan funds to create and establish a new grant program that would really be focused on vacant property strategically and kind of really investing in the city's existing building stock. So we've got a program outline that we've presented to give you really a sense of the program, our thoughts around timeline as well. You may recall we had a great opportunity to work with the council on that, the Commercial Corridor Improvement Fund, where we were able to work alongside the Economic Development Committee and assist more than 40 projects, all of which are now kind of in the getting underway stage. So this program, we've made some changes to this to really focus again on larger scale projects and historic properties and vacant buildings with a particular emphasis. So available for any questions, but I'm certainly happy to discuss further.
So this will be certain, like, so be commercial and mixed-use buildings, so
Correct.
residential too?
Yeah, so a residential property, what you'll see is we've placed particular emphasis on land bank owned buildings and vacant land bank properties as part of this. So yes, and under those circumstances, if you have multifamily residential properties, we want to focus more on larger scale land bank projects that need this type of
So
investment.
obviously, as I talked to you already about the large building that the land bank just acquired on Delaware and Grace Street, the former Delaware Baptist Church and School would be ineligible.
Yeah, and I think that, well, not to go into on any one specific property, but yes, under the eligibility criteria, we would allow for larger scale land bank owned properties, and if there's a multifamily housing component, that could be eligible, yes.
Is there a cap to what these projects are eligible for?
So the cap on the program is $250,000 per project, yep.
50. So the Salina Street corridor, where we have a big commercial property that used to belong to the land bank, would that be eligible for this ARPA funding?
So, and again, with specifics around particular sites, but if the building
That's
is
part of the
vacant,
census tract, right?
so if they're in an ARPA eligible census tract, yes. So that, and which I would say the strong majority of the South Salina Business Corp, particularly south of downtown, all of that is ARPA eligible. Yep.
Okay, one more question. If there's a business owner with more than one project, not in the same location, can they apply to various?
So the way that we've, and very similar to what we did with the ARPA Commercial Corridor Program, is really one application per property owner, right? But if there's a tenant that's looking to make improvements, I guess but the one emphasis I'll place on this is that this is for vacant. These are properties that are vacant, and so that's not going to have the same kind of things built in where a tenant may be looking to improve or upgrade their space.
And it says distressed commercial historic property. So it has to be historical?
So it's not a requirement, but there is particular emphasis around our historic building stock, that if it's vacant historic properties, those are the types of ones that we really want to target through this program.
So favor. We're going to favor that.
I think we absolutely, all eligible projects we would encourage to apply, but one of the things we want to make sure is, particularly for properties or projects that have been vacant, they could be at risk of demolition if they're not invested in. That's really what we want to focus these funds on.
So what if they're not local people? Well, how does that work?
It wouldn't exclude anyone from applying, but there will be a rigorous application process where we'll be looking for information about the proposal, the project, the budget. So we would want to take into consideration, who it is, what's the makeup of the development team.
But every project would come before the council before we approve it too, correct?
So I think the approach that we would look to take is the discussion we had more at a committee level, where there was a review committee looking through the process. We invite counselors to be part of that process and then make those selections based on the committee discussion.
It does.
Well, that's what you did.
Well, let's, when it comes to the end, if I call it the development committee, you will present those projects and join the.
Yes, so I think Sure. So I think what we could do is absolutely report back on the applications received, the projects that have been submitted for, and then I think that and you and Councilor Schultz were directly involved in being able to go through these projects, take a look at the ones proposed, and then before those investments are made, that all goes through that approval process.
So this would be citywide and be incumbent on the.
Well, it'd be like citywide, but it'd be only on census tracts. There's certain census
Right.
tracts that are
Correct. Yep.
Right.
Yep. But as long as they meet that geographic eligibility and they meet the criteria of the program, then they would be welcome to apply.
So, and this is people who, moving forward, not like people like the castle, they wouldn't be eligible for it.
Well, so I think any particular properties I'm happy to discuss offline, but if you have an existing.
I'm just using them as an example, because I'm saying, is it something moving
That's
forward?
what I asked earlier.
But is it vacant? I think it has to
It's
be
vacant.
vacant, so
Yeah,
if it's vacant, then.
It's
Correct.
vacant.
But that's not what it says in here. So the property is owned by the Greater Syracuse Land Bank or the City of Syracuse is under contract to be purchased. So if they already purchased it,
But in this case, so just again, with that specific example that you're talking about, the land bank still owns that property to
Okay.
this day.
Right.
so it could be something that's ongoing right now, right? So it's-
Certainly,
okay.
yes.
One more quick question. Are you going to be targeting buildings as well, rather than just putting the application? Because obviously, we're going to have a bunch of people in the community like, oh, help my project, I'm already started. But like, I'm thinking Butternut Street and Park. where those buildings have been vacant, the old Kentucky Fried Chicken. Can we call those people and say, hey, listen, we can help you if you help us?
Sure. So one of the things we absolutely do as the program begins to be developed, and if, given the authorization of the funds, really want to making sure that we're far and wide communicating the program, the criteria, what's eligible, and then how you can go about applying. And then, our staff, our team here at NBD are more than happy to answer questions and walk people through that application process. So yes, absolutely.
So counselors can make recommendations.
Well, counselors, I think we've all worked with Eric before, and the American Rescue Plan money, thank God that we got it. And I'm pretty sure with the commercial corridor, the improvement in the commercial corridor fund, which was a tremendous success, I'm pretty confident that you're going to interact with the council in a way that we're all happy with. Right?
Yes, you can plan on it, Counselor.
And Counselor Hogan, I just clarification. So in order for us to see each project, Counselor Hogan would have to call a committee meeting?
So, no, that would not be required. By all means.
I know, but if he doesn't, then you don't come to council with the projects, all the projects.
So correct. I think that what we're proposing and the approach that we took with the ARPA Commercial Corridor Program is that we go through a very an application process. We go through a rigorous review with the projects. Counselors have the opportunity and the ability, and we would welcome sitting around that table as that review takes place, and then ultimately we make the funding decisions and move forward with those projects after
So
that.
let me ask you this, when you said council get to sit with review, so when you're doing this review, are you going to invite each district councilor in to be a part of that review from the onset, not after, but from the onset?
So that was the approach that we took with the last ARPA program that we're discussing. That's our intent would be to do that again.
Okay.
Well, but we weren't, to your point though, we weren't brought in during the application, like soliciting applicants necessarily. I mean, you shared with us that this is, RFP is out or whatever it's called, but we weren't, I didn't go knocking on doors and saying, but I'd like to do
Councilor
that.
Schultz, you're aware of this program now, and if there's projects in
You better
your
believe it.
council district, you can
Yep.
let them know about it.
I'm gonna go do it.
So the 250,000 cap is as long as it's not the full amount of the project.
So
So you don't do have 100%, is my right?
sure. So what we've said, and then this is actually consistent to the last program that we did, is that up to 50% of project costs. And I think, and just like any project, we want to make sure there's multiple sources. This is one program that can get your project across the finish line, but up to 50% through this particular program, understanding there would be other sources, equity from the investor, from the developer.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
We ready, President?
We ready.
Now, there is a good, Eric did provide a good program outline, and just Exhibit A, I just want you all to know.
Okay. Happy to discuss further after the fact as well. So thank you all, counselors.
Thank you, Eric. All righty, let's move on to Councilor Majuk.
Thank you, Madam President. I have item 21. It's a fire department here. So walk us through this,
This item 21 is, we're looking to apply for a grant to increase the EMS training that our providers have in the fire department. We're going to look to, all of our new recruits will be trained to an EMT level as opposed to the minimum requirement, which is a certified first responder. So there'll be more skilled providers out in all of our apparatus. And we're also have a program where we would like to try to get up to 6 of our firefighters trained up to paramedics. So this is going to be to pay for backfill, tuition, to get more skilled firefighters on the apparatus. Pardon? It is not mandatory. It's a very desperate need right now. So that's what we're trying to fill.
Look, Chief, can I ask you a question? Because I'm looking at this. So what happened to the program that you wanted to train constituents as well? What happened to that?
That's ongoing. There's a class currently happening
Okay.
now. They're in their, I think, 3rd or 4th week of the class.
Okay.
and how many are in there?
There's, I think, 22 in the class right now. I think half of them, it's roughly half are firefighters and half are,
So we got about 11
Citizens.
constituents.
yep.
Other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 22, Chief.
Morning, Rich Shaw, First Deputy Chief of Police. Number 22 is a revised general ordinance of the City of Syracuse, Chapter 15, Section 15-326 of the City of Syracuse Traffic Code, Part M, entitled Miscellaneous, amend to increase costs for removal, towing, service of vehicles on behalf of the Syracuse Police Department as detailed in legislation. What this is a request to bring the city tow companies that tow for the city police department up to what their county counterparts are being paid. There's not an increase requested in the local ordinance tows, which would be your junk cars that we actually pay for out of our budget. That's remaining the same.
Yeah, and it's just because of the cost of living and all other stuff around us. You know, we've got to make sure that the city is also at the same level with the county, that, you know, people who have businesses in the city who do towing,
Yes, sir.
that, you know, they are well compensated, just like their counterpart.
Sure.
Questions?
I have a question. Can you give a quick update about the impound lot status? I understand that it gets full often.
Well, we're towing and holding more cars now than we used to because of the increased, the shots fired and everything. So it's pretty full. We have a new one, but it's pretty full. I don't want to say where it is here, but so it invites thievery, so we don't want to say that. But we also are putting cars on our Erie Boulevard police station lot as well because of the overflow.
Long-term, do you think we need more space or
Long-term,
different space?
Long-term, we're going to need more space. We're in discussions about several different options,
Okay,
but that's long-term.
great, thank you.
Other questions?
Just one, so based on the track, previous years, what's the potential of really actually charging these people? I mean, do they actually?
I mean, if they have insurance, their insurance companies generally pay for their vehicles being towed. Unless it's a junk tow, then they're abandoned vehicles. So the city kind of eats those for the most part. But the vast majority of tows are towed by insurance companies, paid by insurance companies.
I just want to ask a technical question, because I know when you go in those lots, right, and when you see it says will be towed $125, is all the signage changing to go with the increase?
That's not us. That's private property towing. That's addressed in a separate ordinance.
Okay,
These are companies that tow for the police department.
okay. And not a question, a comment. You looked real spiffy last Saturday.
He has his moments.
Found a suit in the closet.
Thanks, Chief. Item 23. Auditor, you gonna take that, or is it? This is the study, the police study.
From here?
Budget Rod? Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Auditor Nader Maroon. This item came as a result of the council in the budget last year, appropriating monies to do the study as identified in the short title here. We've finished the RFP and we're about to go out to engage in an agreement with the Matrix company to do the study.
Tim Rod, Budget Director. I would just add that I think the timing of this works out pretty well. So this is a council-funded thing that the auditor has navigated kind of in partnership with my office. But with the PVA contract, there's a number of the work schedule, sick leave incentives that you can target, you can have the consultant focus on and really inform the choices that are in the current PVA and just see the effectiveness over time. So I think the timing is pretty good.
And I think that's going to be done after all of us actually are privy to see the
Yes.
contract.
Right. So once you've all seen that, and as was mentioned before, that once you've all seen it, you'll have some context in terms of where the police agreement is now. And this will provide the opportunity for us to look as we go forward. Because this, if I understand it correctly, this agreement that Corey presented was for the current year, but going forward based on the years that were identified.
I'm curious about 24.
Any question?
Just as far as history goes, I believe we somehow came to the conclusion this PDA contract will be the first time that we don't have to keep out retro things. it's a significant progress as far as the city goes with the PDA, so.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item 24.
So 24 and 25 are going to be agreements with our Police Athletic League. I brought the Director of Community Engagement, Jimmy Oliver, with me as well. 24 is agreement with Syracuse University for field work program between the Police Athletic League and SU. Falk College will provide students to work with PAL in exchange for PAL supervision and evaluation of the students' work towards university credits for a 5-year term. There is no cost to the city.
And Councilor Hogan, you okay with this going to Tipper Hill, right?
Yes, anything that flows towards Tipperary Hill, I'm in favor of, Councilman Shaw.
You copy me? You need to second that motion now?
Actually, the Tipperary Hill Community, you know, obviously, the folks that run the Tipperary Hill Community Center did a great service to the community when they took over the former Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
I'm pleased that the Syracuse Police Athletic League is involved in it. I think it does a great job with the youth of the city, so I guess I'm in favor of it.
No, Jimmy's doing great work.
Yes.
25?
Yeah, yep, go ahead.
25 is also with PAL. It's with the Tip Hill Community Center located at 201 Hamilton Street to facilitate the annual Police Athletic League. Presents March Madness. It's a basketball tournament for local youth. Friday, March 3rd through April 7th. It'll be from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. The cost will not exceed $5,400.
Thanks. Jimmy Oliver, did you want to add anything? You know, this is your stuff, and we don't want to deprive ourselves of hearing something from you. You got some for us?
Appreciate it. No, thank you, Deputy Chief Shaw. I think he explained it well.
All right.
Jim, I have a question, Jimmy. I was able to go last year when you hosted this, and it was a great program. Is $5,400 going to be enough for that? Because you provide food. Are you doing transportation again? And shirts and stuff, equipment, so that's going to be enough?
Yep, that's enough. That's just for the facility.
That's for the facility. Oh, so you have money for the other stuff?
Correct.
Okay.
Is it a lock-in?
Not a lock-in, but at a certain time we do. Kids can't just come and leave when they want to. So at 10, you know, we lock the doors. So, but it's not a lock-in.
I want to get locked in.
I was so happy, you know, when we last did it, 150 officers getting involved. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we got great partners at the Syracuse Police Department. We're doing it across the board, and we're showing that there is a need for this interaction with our youth, and folks across Central New York are partnering with us, and that's because of the leadership in the police department navigating those.
So Jimmy, could you tell them again when it starts? Because we got a whole room full of youth in this building.
Yes, so it starts the first Friday in March and runs through April 7th. It's from 8 p.m. to midnight. And it's a 4-on-4 basketball tournament. We set up an esports lounge. We have food, we provide transportation, we have law enforcement, we have our partners at the Syracuse City School District that partners with us. Parents come and hang out to see. It's just a great, another example of us showing that the silent majority of our youth and our teens are doing the right thing in our community, and we just need to continue to illuminate that and put that out there.
So what's the minimum age and where do you stop so I don't sign up?
It's 13 to 18 year olds, and they have to bring their school ID. We're actually just started advertising it today. We're going to all the city high schools and the city middle schools to talk about the program, to get kids signed up, as well as our Black History Month drawing contest that we're doing currently as well too.
Awesome.
45 ambassadors.
Let's go. I think Councilor Majoke wants to play basketball again.
He can come down.
For the record, I've seen Councilor Caldwell beat him several times. on
That's a
the
fact.
basketball court.
That's a fact.
I second that. I've seen it.
All righty then.
All right,
Keep moving.
that will do it for me.
Can I ask a quick question, though? Something you mentioned about the esports lounge that you have. Are you part of the mayor's initiative to do the gaming program that he's mentioned at the State of the City? Has that come to you, or will Pal be involved?
I'm not.
Don't know
Pal Nash. Pal
Deputy
Nash.
Mayor.
Oh, sorry.
It's back there.
You don't have yet.
Okay, sorry.
So we're on the clock since the mayor's State of the City, so we're going to start gathering everyone together to, we made this commitment, we're going to make that happen.
Awesome.
Yep.
Can't, yep.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
Counselor, what?
That's it. I said I'm all set.
All righty. And with, yes?
I was waiting to say,
Look, wait, you already know.
Okay, let me ask the question. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second? All in favor? Thank you.
Deputy Chief Trudell, can I introduce you to this amazing student right here in the 1, 2, 3rd row?
All youth who want to.